You can't be gay and Buddhist at the same time.
Yeah, that's just... The doctor told me that it was possible I might not survive and asked if there was someone in Taiwan who could sign a do not resuscitate order in case I was not going to come back and I was being kept alive on machines, right?
大家好，我是凤梨哥，欢迎来到我的频道。我跟 Justin 想要分享有一些朋友们不太明白的，我也不太明白。I asked you a lot of questions in the last videos, but we still have a lot of things to cover because people, response of the people is like really great. They are just like super nice to you, to me, but they have they couldn't really understand it. We are gonna be answering your questions and just for you. Someone said like you can't be gay and Buddhist at the same time.
Yeah, that's just silly. Yeah. There is nowhere in the Buddhist texts where it talks about homosexuality.
Justin, I have to stop you here.
Yeah.
You cannot talk about Buddhism without your clothes.
Oh,
but there's a question about that.
Sounds good.
Okay, from gay Justin to Buddhist Justin. Oh, let's continue.
Okay, that sounds good.
That looks better.
Yeah, maybe a bit more appropriate. Yeah, although some people maybe will be triggered. But anyways, as I was saying, you know, it's just really important to understand that Buddhism is not a Chinese religion, right? Buddhism is a religion that grew out of India and spread to dozens of different cultures. So these are the clothes that any serious Buddhist practitioner will wear. These are not monastic robes in Korea.
Somebody just like, thank to your story, listening to such stories make me feel blessed. We don't realize how nice or easy our lives are until we hear another story.
I mean, I think that's one of the earliest sort of life lessons I had when I was young, because I had so many of these things that made me so different from other people, being really overweight, having this home life situation, quitting school at such a young age. From my early life, I just had to accept that a lot of things about me are just different from other people, and other people aren't necessarily going to understand them, and some people are going to judge me for them. But the reality is, from the time I'm born to the time I die, there's only going to be one of me, and there are certain lessons and skills and values that I am going to sort of gain throughout my life, and that is the unique value I get to share, right? And that is true for everybody, right? Regardless of if your life has been hard, if your life has been easy, there's only going to be one of you for all of time, right? So don't waste your time on people who want to judge you for menial little things, because in the end, we're all human. We all have weaknesses and strengths, and I think it's important for people to be honest about the darker sides of life, because a lot of people aren't comfortable being honest. They feel that darkness and they hold it inside them, and it eats them because they're not able to process it in a healthy way. So I think seeing examples of people who have processed it, or at least are in the process of dealing with it, I think is really important. So that's why I'm happy to share.
Thanks a lot for that. And I think for the next question, I would like to change the scenes because it's related. Let's move to another, like your workshop. So my next question is, actually not mine, but like many people's questions. Buddhism, being Buddhist, don't make money. How do you make money? How do you survive?
Well, the whole Buddhist point about making money, I think it comes back to two aspects of Buddhism. One is monastic vows, right? So the monastic precepts basically exclude someone from working, right? But that's if you're an ordained monk, right? And again, I'm not an ordained monk. So there's no issue with me working. And actually, if you've ever lived in a Buddhist temple, Buddhist monks work all the time. It's just they're not directly working for a specific income. Sort of the work of the community brings in donations. So in a sense, it still does function very much like a business. It's just we don't usually see it that way. But the core point of making money in Buddhism is right livelihood. right? That's one of the eightfold path, is right livelihood. So are you earning your living through a means that enhances the well-being of yourself and others, right?
Okay.
That's the core, right? As I mentioned in the last video, go watch, please. Please watch the video. No, I'm joking.
You watch it after this video.
Yeah, there we go. So as I mentioned in the last video, you know, I used to have sort of a typical English teacher's full-time job, and my salary was a bit better, so I was able to be pretty stable. But the problem was that job ate my life. I had very little free time. And because, you know, I want to be able to serve people by sharing Buddhism in whatever capacity I can, if I have, you know, small group practice sessions, if I have a larger group practice, if I lead a retreat, whatever, I would like to have the time to be able to do that. And I'm also a ceramic artist, and I have a real love of cuisine and art and ceramics. So I also want to see where that direction can go, selling my artwork either to cafes and restaurants or to individuals. But the sacrifice of that, like many people have to do, I had to teach much less to open my time for those things. So my situation now is a little difficult, but it's a sacrifice I made because, you know, a couple of years ago I had a very serious health problem, and you know, the doctor told me that it was possible I might not survive, and asked if there was someone in Taiwan who could sign a do not resuscitate order in case I was not going to come back and I was being kept alive on machines, right? So when you're in that situation, it really makes you, I mean, I'm Buddhist already, so I'm already introspective, but that kind of situation especially makes you think, how am I going to spend the time I have? You know, am I really going to spend it just spending all of my waking time, Monday to Friday, thinking about some job to get money, and then I only have 2 days of the week to maybe do some things that I care about, right? That life just wasn't serving me. Even though I love teaching, and you know, I feel like I'm quite a serious professional teacher. I work hard to be a good teacher. I feel like there's more I have to offer, and I want to have the freedom to do that. So now I'm trying my best to explore those things. But something I would like to make clear, because I've had quite a few, since the first videos were announced, I've had quite a few people message me related to, you know, either Buddhist teaching or group sessions or ceramics and things like that. And I've gotten quite a lot of people approaching me in a way that makes me feel like they think that I will give my time for free. Right? But I think it's disrespectful to do that, right? In the world today, even monks and nuns who live in temples, they really can't give their time truly for free, right? The programs that monks and nuns have for the public, they open up donations, and they really need those donations, right? That's why they have those programs, right? And the same for me. If I am going to be sharing this practice and serving someone, trying to help them with their life through Buddhism, that person should expect to compensate me fairly for that, right? And also, if I'm doing artwork for someone, a custom order for a restaurant, I should also be compensated fairly for that. Not a crazy fine art price, but fairly, you know? So please feel free to contact me if you are interested in working with me in some way, but please remember, it will not be free. A lot of people are just eating something that's convenient and quick. They don't have sort of a deeper mindful relationship with the meals that they have, you know? But if you go to a nice restaurant where they're serving these carefully curated dishes, you'll notice that each plate is probably going to be different, because the chef is thinking about the overall experience that you are having with their food. You know, are you going to be holding the dish? Are you going to be picking it up? What kind of food is it? Is it wet? Is it dry? There are all these little little considerations that go into the dishware that we use with our food. But people don't understand that, and they don't value it unless they personally experience it. So, and because I love to cook, I love to garden, I love that whole process stream of things, I was thinking, why don't I just host meal events, whether it's a brunch event or a dinner event, let people come and experience not just my ceramics, but also my cooking and more of me personally.
It says Buddhism doesn't have country's economy, only for self, body, and soul.
Oh, they say Buddhism doesn't help a country's economy.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that is not true. I think Buddhism could have a lot of potential to help a country's economy. But the issue is the way our economy is structured right now is basically focused on seeing sort of psychological weakness in people, right? Like in my first video, I talked about the hedonic, or first video or second video? Anyways, go watch those videos. I talked about the hedonic treadmill. So the fact that when a person experiences...
Second video.
Yeah, the second video. So when someone experiences something positive, at first, that positive feeling will be very strong. But the more they experience that same sensation, their nervous system will downregulate their reaction to it. So the same thing will feel perceptively as if it is worse over time, even though it is no different, right? So your favorite food a month ago can become boring. The new boyfriend or girlfriend you just met a few months ago will start to feel less interesting. You know, everything in life will downregulate like that, whether it's happiness or sadness or whatever. Over time, these emotions don't stay at the intensity that they were originally. And businesses understand that very well. So businesses exploit that. They exploit that psychological weakness in us to constantly reach for something new. So we end up wasting massive amounts of money on things that we don't need, basically just reaching for sensations, right? So I think Buddhism has a huge value for the future of society, but we need to think of it from a perspective of societal stability, right? Because if we kind of think about business a bit differently, instead of thinking about, you know, producing masses of low quality garbage, right? Rather than that mentality that we have now, where we're really destroying the earth and not helping people psychologically, we could shift our values in a bit more of a Buddhist direction. And if we did that, then we would be able to be content with higher quality things, but fewer of them, right?
Yeah.
So instead of buying, you know, 100 different things, we could buy 2 or 3 that are maybe the same price. Maybe the price is much higher.
That sounds similar.
Yeah.
With Japan.
Yeah, right.
They have like quality assurance system before,
and like Switzerland.
Yeah.
A lot of countries recognize the importance of having high standards.
It's just not under the name of Buddhism, but like the philosophies.
Yeah, and I think the Buddha didn't care about people being Buddhist, right? The Buddha was just a teacher trying to share things to help people.
So it's like it made me realize rich people aren't necessarily truly happy. So I think he's mentioning when your transition from being a successful school owner to Buddhist, following your heart and your feelings.
I think that's a bit presumptuous though, because it has the presumption that I was rich, but I definitely was not rich.
Everyone, thanks a lot for watching, and these were actually your questions. We made this video just for you to find some answers to your questions. If you have more questions, please write them, and we are gonna find some time to record another video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment under the video. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.